two methods for calculating compound interest. And these come from sections 4.1 and 4.2 in your book. So the first method, or formula, is the formula A of t equals p times 1 plus r over n to the n times t. So this is the formula you want to use when your interest is compounded at specific time intervals. So if it's compounded monthly or quarterly or daily or any other specific time interval, you want to use this formula. Okay, because this information is n in the formula. Okay, so this is how many times per year the interest is compounded. Meaning that you're paid interest. So if it were monthly, then n would be 12. If it were quarterly, n would be 4. If it were daily, n would be 365. And the more times that it's compounded, the more interest you're going to make. Okay, P is your principal, meaning your original investment, or your starting amount. R is your interest rate, and very important that you write it as a decimal. So you'll be given it as a percent, say 6.25%, and you want to make sure you write it as 0.0625. And then T is just the number of years that the money is invested. Okay, and then A of T is the amount of the money that you have in the account after a certain time period. And the hardest part about this formula is typing it into your calculator correctly. So let's look at an example. Okay, so if we're given a sum of money of $1,000 is invested at an interest rate of 12% per year, we want to find the amount after 3 years if the interest is compounded annually, semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, and daily. Okay, so the amount in the account after 3 years is equal to our principal times 1 plus, let me put the formula over here, so my rate is 12%, so I want to write that as 0.12. And for this first one, we'll do annually. So that means n is 1 time per year, to the n times t, so to the 1 times 3. And you want to make sure when you type this into your calculator that this 1 times 3 is in the exponent. So depending on what kind of calculator you have, you might need parentheses around it. Usually if you have a Casio, you'll need parentheses. If your calculator raises them up, you might not need parentheses. So I'm just going to type this into my calculator. So 1,000 times 1 plus 0.12 over 1 to the 1 times 3 is $1,404.93. Okay, now let's look at it semi-annually. So when you change the amount of times per year, the only number that's changing is n. T is going to remain the same. Okay, so it's going to be 1,000 times 1 plus 0.12 over 2 this time, to the 2 times 3. Okay, and again, we're going to type this into our calculator. Okay, and we find that we make a little more money when it's compounded semi-annually. Okay, and then you would do the same for quarterly. So quarterly is 4 times per year. And again, on your calculator, type it in. And again, we make a little more money because it's compounded more times per year. All right, monthly would be 12. And lastly would be daily. So for daily, you would use 365. And we get 14.33 and 24 cents. Okay, so you want to make sure you have this formula memorized. Okay, now the other way of calculating interest is when your interest is compounded continuously. So if you see the word continuously, you want to make sure you use A of t equals PE to the RT. So the amount of money in your account is equal to your principal, right, your investment, times E, which is a special irrational number, which you can find on your calculator. It's a constant. And E is raised to the RT, rate times time. And just like in the last one, rate should be written as a decimal. Okay. And then T is the number of years. All right, so let's see if we can use this formula. Okay, so it says find the amount after 3 years if $1,000 is invested at 12% and it's compounded continuously this time. So as soon as you see continuously, you want to write down this formula. Okay, so we want to find the amount after 3 years. We start with $1,000 times e to the 0.12 times 3. Okay, so on your calculator you need to find the button that looks like either e to the x or e to a little box. You should have a button on your calculator that allows you to raise e to an exponent. And on your calculator you want to type 1,000, find this button, and then depending on how your calculator works, you may need parentheses, especially if you have a Casio. Alright, so make sure that when you type it in, get $1,433.33. Okay, so if you've typed it in correctly, this should be the amount in the account after 3 years if your interest is compounded continuously.